What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and I'm once again joined by Tyler, and we are here to talk about Pirates 6 through 10 being confirmed. So we have a lot of quotes from a couple different actors in Pirates of the Caribbean. We're going to do this thing after Pirates 5 comes out, where we'll have occasional videos talking about what we read online in regards to Pirates 6 and beyond. But actually, there's been some major news updates from the actors that we think is important to tell you now instead of waiting for several weeks. So we're going to go through a couple quotes that we found. The cast of Pirates of the Caribbean is on tour. They're on the press tour promoting Dead Men Tell No Tales. So there's been a lot of interviews, and so these kind of things definitely come out. They say some things, whether or not they are supposed to or not, but they do. So if you have any comments as to what you think of all this news, make sure you write it in the comments below and we can talk about it. So Tyler, let's talk about, we got two actors. Let's go first with Brenton Thwaites, who is Henry Turner in Pirates 5. And so he was talking to New York Daily News, and his exact quote is, "I'm signed up for them, yeah." And he talks about how, "I think there's nothing really like it, and I hope they'll make 9, 10, and 11. Now, those are exact quotes from him, but the article itself says that Thwaites tells us that Disney execs have locked down the talent for at least numbers 6 through 10, and he hopes there'll be yet more after that. So, I mean, this kind of goes what Tyler and I have been saying for a while. We think Pirates 6 is going to happen. But what do you got comment-wise from what he said, Tyler?
First, hashtag Tyler was right.
Yeah.
I mean, we have been saying, if you guys have been following the channel, we have been saying since the beginning, there absolutely will be a Pirates 6. We also said that's likely the last one of this franchise with Johnny Depp, but they will continue with Henry Turner as the main character, probably from 7 through, and then if you saw our video, I came up with stories and titles for Pirates 7 through 9. And now you have him saying that he signed on from at least Pirates 6 through 10. Now that doesn't mean that there will be, it doesn't mean that there's going to be 10 Pirates movies, because what will happen is, they sign these actors into a contract, but they don't necessarily have to end up making all of the movies that are in the contract. Like for Star Wars Rogue One, the actress who Jyn, she was signed on for another one. Obviously, I'm not going to tell you why she can't make another one, but there won't be another Rogue One. We can't necessarily confirm 10, but it likely does, in a way, confirm that there will be at least 6, 7, 8, 9, and a likely 10. But what's strange, like we were just talking about, you and I off camera, is how he says, "I think there's nothing really like it, and I hope they'll make 9, 10, and 11. For us Pirates fans, that's actually the best thing that we could have ever heard, besides from Jerry Bruckheimer or Disney itself or Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Because what that tells me is, by him saying, "I hope they'll make 9, 10, 11, that tells, what he's really saying is, yeah, I'm in 6, 7, and 8, but I really hope that there's a 9, 10. Because it's funny that he didn't, because he's saying that he's from 6 through 10, but then he's hoping that they make 9, 10, and 11. Well, what happened to 6, 7, 8?
Yeah.
Clearly, in my opinion, there's at least 6, 7, and 8. That's, I feel like that's a guaranteed. But like we were saying, what's strange is, he told them that Disney executives have locked down him and others for at least Pirates 6 through 10. So why he's hoping that they do a 9, 10, and 11 tells me that they might have said that there's definitely going to be 1 to 3 more, depending on how they're received, whether excitement or for Pirates of the Caribbean franchise will die off. We don't know. Maybe, we don't know where we're going to be at, but we know that we're going to be making at least 3 more Pirates films. You're going to be in them. But the future after probably 8, it's a little uncertain. It's likely, but we can't 100% give you the green light. That's what it tells me.
Right.
But I still think, what this kid said for us is huge.
Definitely.
And
Yeah.
then I'll mention later what I think about like when we're done going through everything, what I think about whether or not Johnny Depp will be in all these movies or not. We'll talk about that after.
Right.
But
Yes,
what do you think, Alex?
and we want to thank Jonathan Swindle for giving me this link. He sent it to me, so we thank you as always. He's he's out on the looks for this kind of stuff just like us, and we found other stuff too. But yeah, no, I definitely completely agree with Tyler. How they worded it, and that is just kind of media nowadays. You got to look for the quotes and look for maybe what they've assumed. But he says 9, 10, 11 is what he hopes they make. So just like Tyler said, 6, 7, and 8 have to be for sure. And like Tyler said, when you get these actors that do it, there's built-in things into contracts. There's exclusions where, okay, maybe we don't want to use a bunch of the people in Avengers, who's also a Disney company. They have those
Right.
too, where you're inked on for 8 movies. We don't have to use you for 8 movies. Maybe 5 are guaranteed, and then the other
Right.
3 are if necessary. Like you signed on for them, so you're obligated, but we don't have to do it. So that's really that does make a lot of sense. Disney is safe up to 10. He's only safe probably until 8, just because of how the contract's built. So it is really nice to see, and and like Tyler said off air too, we've been saying that Disney has bigger plans for Pirates of the Caribbean. And again, we've
Right.
said since the very, very beginning, you don't let franchises that make $1 billion, one of the very few that do it, you don't let them just walk. And even if Johnny Depp and Jack Sparrow's story ends, that doesn't mean Pirates has to end. And I think this is definite proof that there's a
Yeah.
lot of things going on behind the scenes to carry it forward.
Real quick, because there is something that I bet you were just about to say. But what I wanted to say was, huge channel yet. We will be. But, like, we're not a massive channel yet, you guys, and all that. Like, that's why we do it and continue to do it. But, like, even though we're not a small channel, like, I'm not bragging here. We do really know, like, what we're talking about. Like, there's a reason that I said, like I said earlier, in our 789, I said, Henry, this character is the future of the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, whether we like it or not. Now, I haven't seen the movie. I don't know if I like this character yet. You know what? It's like, well, they're gonna at least make 2, 3 more movies, so I have 3 movies to get used to them. And I honestly didn't like Will in the first movie, but I liked him in 2 and 3.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, I can see how things go. I see how things start to move. And as soon as I saw that his son was in it, and as soon as because Alex was the one that told me that that's that's Will's son, I knew, okay, well, they're bringing back Will, they're bringing the son in, Johnny Depp's getting older, the franchise is getting older, they need a fresh take, new, he's the fresh take, and they need to shake things up. So what I'm saying is, yes, we're a small channel, and a lot of you are subscribed, but if you're not subscribed, I highly recommend you subscribe, because we're not idiots on this channel. Some people think we are idiots when we do certain like tips and tricks. Like, we're not idiots. We really do know what we're talking about, and we respond to basically every comment as long as they make sense. So like, if you have any questions or whatever, or any of your thoughts, we're gonna be totally honest. Like, like if you guys say like, well, what years or how do you think they're gonna do it? Like, we will respond to you. So I'm not like bragging, but I'm just saying, like, we do know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And our other videos, a lot of like just people make like, 6 isn't gonna happen. It says the final adventure begins. We've been saying that there's gonna be more.
Yeah.
And we just know it.
Right.
So that's all I was gonna say.
Yeah,
And then I was just gonna say how he said for that he predicts that the upcoming movie will put the series back on track, which goes along with what people who've seen it have been saying. It's a lot like 1, with a lot of 2 and 3 in it. So, and then he says that the directors brought such a fresh energy to the series, and I think he added that. What did he say? Like basically, he feels like the franchise has been rejuvenated. Like it's almost like a clean slate. Like they're starting over.
Right.
Kind of.
Yep. He talks about how good Johnny Depp was, even though with all the the stuff that's going on with him. He talks about like when he's on set, and he even did say there were some problems with him, but when he's there, he's there. He's very he says he's very passionate about his character and his art, which sounds exactly like Johnny Depp. But yeah, no, I definitely agree with what Tyler said. I think a lot of our evidence, like, again, yeah, not to make it too big of a thing in this video, but we have proof to back up what we talk about. Like, it's not just us saying it now. We've been saying 6. Tyler had predicted 7, 8, 9. Tyler had called a lot of these things. I had called, I said Keira Knightley as Elizabeth comes back. Way before Barbossa would die. We are the only video up that has that, and we were the first. So we have a lot of, and obviously we don't know if he dies, but that would only add to our credibility. But so that's Brenton Thwaites, and we have more than that, Tyler. I actually found a couple other quotes by another big name actor before this, which is, I don't think as like bombshell of news. Or as like quotes as his, but what did Orlando Bloom say?
No, it is. I think what he said is actually pretty big. Not as big.
It
is
big.
What
I don't think it's. About, I don't think it's as big as that.
It's not. But we were super excited the other day when we saw this.
Yeah.
So he was on the. I actually really like the show. I can't.
Graham Norton.
Graham Norton show.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually a decent show.
Yeah.
But he said, he was asked, he was on the show, and he said, "We'll see about the future." He said there is room for more. That was Digital Spy. So then on Metro UK's website, Orlando Bloom was asked by Total Film Magazine questions, and Orlando Bloom said, "I do think they'd like to do one more. It was alluded to me that there would be room for something else, but let's see." And then he said, "I feel like they've landed on point. They've recaptured the simplicity and charm. I've seen the film, and it's fantastic, really entertaining." So what's important for this, and again, this was late, I believe, April.
Yeah.
April 30th, and then the other one was around late April, too. So what's important about this is this definitely confirms to us 6 will happen.
Yeah.
The fact that the Thwaites is signed on for 6 through 10, and the fact that they've alluded to Orlando Bloom that there's at least a chance for at least one more film, and they really want to do one more film, he'd be in it. That to me that's pretty huge to me.
Definitely.
Because that means that likely Elizabeth, Keira Knightley, would be also in it. So they really are going back almost to their roots, which is what they needed to do after 4.
Right.
But to me, this is also quite a big, because this definitely confirms 6.
Yeah.
It's 100% confirmed 6. And then the next thing that we talk about will confirm it even more. Because you just put the pieces together on top of what we said before. You don't, and you said it in this video, you don't just stop making what makes you $1 billion. You don't stop a $1 billion franchise. Right. Not when you can keep going, not when you, according to Thwaites, according to Orlando Bloom, according to the people who've already seen the movie and really like it, they've recaptured the original Pirates of the Caribbean, like the essence of the originals. So you're not going to stop, you're going to keep going. And you're going to do it with the people fans want to see, like Will Turner, or even Elizabeth, because people are kind of freaking out that she has a very small part in this, we know. But they're freaking out that she's even in this, because that's how much people really care about these original characters, Jack, Will, and Elizabeth.
Right.
And come back, now with kids, but for them to come back for a 6th one, and they've recaptured the magic. This Pirates is going to be big. It's going to be a big name again.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, this, like Tyler said, when I found this a couple of days ago, me and Tyler got super excited because this was the first real concrete things we've seen before, and to add on, and then we do have, Tyler has one more quote we'll talk about, but in addition to this, before I found all this stuff, the really only other thing we had was the IMDb page of Pirates 6, which does have writers, it does have directors, Jerry Bruckheimer would be back, obviously, and it has that Johnny Depp has signed on for it. So we knew for a while, actually, for about over a month, that Johnny Depp had signed on for a Pirates 6. So we had him, but I think both of us kind of felt like, well, yeah, he would sign on for it. That's not going to confirm it. It's not going to make it like this thing where obviously it's going to happen. But that was like the very first piece of the puzzle. Johnny Depp is in. Then you have these Disney executives talking to Orlando Bloom saying, hey, we think there's going to be room for one more movie. Both of the directors of Pirates 5 have said, actually, there's a quote too right there. They both said that if there's another movie, they'd absolutely want to do it. So they're in, if they were asked by Disney. Orlando Bloom would be in, because Orlando Bloom loved these movies. He loves working with Johnny Depp. We've talked about that. I know some people think they hate each other. I don't know why. Everything we've ever saw has, literally every actor in Pirates loves working with Johnny Depp. That's part of the reason why they do it. So he likes doing that. He's in. Johnny Depp's in. You got the younger cast. And when Thwaites said locked in the talent, we assume that also means Karina, the actress that plays Karina. So we assume that the young core of this movie is locked in for the future. So we have all the pieces, and you put all these quotes together, and there you go. 6 is by far confirmed, and then 7 and 8 are very, very likely. So Tyler, we had one more quote that proved your point and proves a couple other points that you've always been saying from Orlando Bloom from actually several years ago. So what's that one?
So this article is from IGN. It's from December 2014. And Orlando Bloom, this was kind of almost well before he himself knew if he was even going to be in Dead Men Tell No Tales. So here's his quote. He says, "I'm not entirely sure that I'll be back just yet, but there are talks." Then he said, basically, they want to reboot the whole franchise, I think, and do something with me and the relationship with my son. So this was said in 2014. Now, and it was clearly before Disney or or the writers, I shouldn't say Disney, before they all knew if Will Turner was going to be back or not.
Right.
So in my opinion, that tells me they weren't quite sure at the time whether or not Will's son would even be in the movie. Because you're not just going to have the son if you're not going to have the father, you know what I mean, to tie it in and make it to have it make sense. So in other words, what this means, by him saying basically they want to reboot, he thinks that this is in 2014, I think they want to reboot the whole franchise, and the reboot, they want it to do something with him and the relationship with his son. Fast forward to, obviously, Dead Men Tell No Tales, and what do we know? Will Turner's son, Henry Turner, is a very large supporting character in this movie. Mm-hmm. Will Turner's in it. We know that, obviously. But this movie, for Henry, his story arc is trying to help his father.
Right. And we know it's talked about and thought about from Disney as a reboot, so they kept that part too.
Right, and they kept that part. And you look back at what he said after seeing the movie, and he's kind of and Thwaites, and they both kind of make it sound like it's almost like a reboot because they recaptured the magic. They looked like they got it back.
Right.
So essentially, it has been rebooted. Then you look at what Jerry Bruckheimer said in the feature trailer, which is a really cool trailer. If you didn't see that trailer, go watch it. Mm-hmm. You listen to what Jerry Bruckheimer, the producer, said, that this movie is so fresh, so fun, like so new or something like that. And he said it's an entirely new. What did he say, Alex?
It's like a completely new reimagination of what Pirates is.
Yeah, this is a complete reimagination of what the Pirates movie can be. For everybody who's like, well, it says the final adventure begins. Well, it's not, because you wouldn't have the producer filming this for Pirates 5 saying it's a whole reimagination of what the Pirates movie could be. Well, you're not going to reimagine. You're not going to reimagine a movie and then end it in the same movie.
Right.
Or a franchise and then end it with that movie. It doesn't make sense. So they definitely have given enough hints. Even just listening to the Jerry Bruckheimer thing. When I heard that, I texted you right away.
Right.
And I sent you the quote, and I said, they're not done. There's definitely a 6, probably a 7. And now you listen to what Orlando Bloom says. You listen to what Thwaites says. And then, what I just said about Bruckheimer.
Yep.
There's more. Definitely coming. Almost 7 is almost 100%. In my mind, 7 is 99.9%. 9% certain. 8 probably uncertain a little bit, but there's more. There's at least 2 to 3 more. That's almost guaranteed. But the important part about this quote by Orlando Bloom, saying that it's they want to do something with the relationship with my son, and that's the premise of the whole of the reboot of the whole franchise. What did Tyler say that 7, 8, and 9 was gonna be? Henry Turner's son is going to be the main character. And in 6, which we didn't talk about yet, but we will in this upcoming video. I'm not going to spoil anything, but Will Turner will be in my idea for Pirates 6. It's a very good story. It's very easily written to where you can reboot the franchise, putting Henry as the lead character. If I can do it, Disney can do it.
Right.
And I'm not bragging, but it's not. You can totally see it.
Yeah.
I'm sure Alex sees it. I mean, you can see that's what they're doing. They're taking the young face. I mean, Johnny Depp is getting old. That's just the facts. Because it takes like 3 years for these movies to come out.
Right.
So we got, we're 2017 for 5. So you go ahead 3 years. We're going to be at probably Memorial Day 2020 for 6. Another 3. That's 2023. How old's Johnny Depp?
He'll be turning 60 that upcoming June. So the month after 7 would come out, he would turn 60. Even for 6, he'd be turning 57.
And now that we're basically at the end of the video, now I get to say what I think about Johnny Depp and Jack Sparrow.
Yeah.
Jack Sparrow will not be in anything past Pirates 7. Pirates, if not Pirates 6.
Yeah.
I still feel, depends on how they do 6 and 7. I think that their current plan is to recapture, now that they got the Black Pearl, and essentially Dead Man's Tell No Tales is essentially Pirates 1. The 6 likely will be their original plan to film 5 and 6 back-to-back. Likely 6 and 7 will be the back-to-back films.
Mm-hmm.
That's the likely case. It's also likely that 6 is a standalone film. If that's the case, everyone's going to be really sad because Jack Sparrow will be done after 6. And to me, there's no argument.
Yeah.
Because he'll be too old. That's just the facts. If there's 6 and 7, because it's filmed back-to-back, he won't be as old.
Right.
If there's 6 and 7 that are back-to-back, he will not be in 8, 9, or anything else. That is the end of Jack Sparrow. So either cross your fingers for having him for 2 more movies. If not, if they don't do the back-to-back, 6 is his last. It's the last time we have Jack Sparrow.
Yeah.
And that's not being negative. That's me being totally realistic.
Right.
Because whether he does his own stunts or not, which he doesn't, but you could have a stunt guy. Whatever it's getting to the point where there's a few things that Disney has to look at. His age, first of all, dealing with him if he continues to be difficult, and with his age on top of it.
Yeah.
Because he's obviously prone to injury. Obviously, I mean, he was injured for this, right? That caused problems. His probably drinking and other that didn't cause major problems, but it's like, okay, well, he's getting older. He's becoming a little bit harder to work with now.
And another thing, actually, that we don't talk about too much is his salary. He makes an literal, absolute boat ton of money. I think he made around $75 million for Pirates 5. Yeah. He makes almost $100 million for one movie. If they realize that they don't need him, then they cut that out.
That was my third point. Yep. Because this is what it sounds ridiculous, but you and you and I know it's true. And I know John Swindle, I know all of you guys, the true fans, we know it's true because we go to the Pirates of the Caribbean opening night, so we hear it, and you'll know as soon as I say it what I'm talking about. The reason that these movies really do so well is because of Johnny Depp and Orlando Bloom, because they're good-looking men, and I'm not gay, because they're good-looking men that young women, teens, whatever, they're very attracted to these men. Okay, so you bring in, this new kid, Thwaites. He's not bad. He reminds me a little bit of. He doesn't look good in the picture that we had in the article that
Yeah.
they used, but like for the movie sense, I could see he's a handsome looking guy. So you have that type of stuff, and you have him grow his hair out a little bit, and you know you have that like mustache or whatever, like Will, and the girls just squeal,
Yeah.
and that's what it's all about. They do that like just like Jennifer. No, this is a totally different movie, but just like Jennifer Lawrence in X-Men, she's a terrible actress. The whole point of putting her in the movie was because it's a big name actress, and they want people to go see the movie because of her. That's just how movies operate.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. So and again, the writing's on the wall. They're setting up for the future. Orlando said it. This Thwaites said it. Bruckheimer said it. Now Johnny Depp obviously wouldn't say, yeah, they're gonna kind of start to shove me out. Obviously, he's not gonna say that. But the other thing too is, the older he gets, this is just what happens when you get older. He probably just won't even want to. He'll probably have so much money. He's probably gonna be like, you know what? I got this Harry Potter gig going on.
True.
He'll have
Yep.
after that. He'll have other gigs, and he'll be like, you know what? I do like the Jack stuff. If they ever want me to do a cameo or whatever, I'll do it. But I don't really need to do it anymore.
That's a good
let
point.
the young guy do it.
Yep.
So I mean, again, I'm being realistic. It sounds negative. I'm being realistic. Trust me, I want Jack Sparrow. The other thing though too that we also have to consider, because it's Disney, just even if it's not Disney, you look at Star Wars, and you look at the original trilogy, and now you look at the new trilogy. There's absolute, but I know that the old characters are in it. They technically could, if they wanted, to do something like that with Pirates of the Caribbean. But like I keep telling you, Alex, the problem with the problem with Jack Sparrow, he's such a good character. I said it in the last video, in the importance video. He's such a good character. If you have him in it literally for 2 minutes, he'll steal the show. He'll ruin the movie, because then everyone's going to say, I wanted to see more Jack Sparrow.
Yeah. Like, why couldn't they put him in more scenes and stuff?
The whole point is it's a new franchise. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, definitely.
Because Jack Sparrow isn't a Luke Skywalker where you're drooling over him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, where every second you're like, what's he going to say? What's he going to do? He's not that character. I'm not saying Luke's a boring character. He's not just a regular human.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not even Barbosa's more plain. I like Barbosa a lot. There's something, he's got his own like swagger. There's something about Jack Sparrow where as soon as even if he's just standing there silent, just like in the opening of Curse of the Black Pearl, when he's coming in and he's standing on the thing and he's silent, just standing there, he steals that whole scene.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing too. That's why there's only so many more movies that they can have him in, because they won't be able to do cameos with this guy.
Right.
It won't happen. He'll steal the show, and then because of it, they'll get terrible ratings. Nobody will go, and that'll be the end. So either they end up shooting themselves in the face, or they bite the bullet.
Right.
And they say, okay, well, we only got 2 more with Jack Sparrow, and then we have to move on. We just have to. And like I was saying, like the new 7, 8, 9 Star Wars movies,
yeah.
Even if they didn't have the old characters, I love the connection. But even if they didn't, this young new cast and the story and all that, honestly, I see no problem with it whatsoever. I know it's Star Wars. They just have to do it the right way.
Yeah.
Which they can. But yeah, so that's my thought on Johnny Depp and Jack Sparrow. There's a very limited. For everybody watch. Just be happy that we'll have them for 5, 6.
Yeah, we said to watch 5 too.
7.
That's the good news.
We still have. So we still exactly. We haven't seen 5. 6 is coming. We'll see him in 6, and we'll likely see him in 7. So we still have 3, 6. We still have about 10, not 10 more years of Jack Sparrow, but 10 more years where Jack Sparrow will still be in our lives, which honestly is a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll have kids and everything. So I mean, he's still going to be there. Now, what I think it was John Swindle mentioned. Well, what do you think about a TV show? That is highly likely. That is how you keep a character like Jack Sparrow alive. You do a TV show like Star Wars Rebels, like I told him, and you have it about young Jack, and you could tie it in somehow to the movies.
Absolutely.
That's how you keep Jack alive, and that's how you keep Pirates of the Caribbean relevant. For the last movie, we'll get that. So we'll have a young Jack TV show come out the year before the final Jack Sparrow movie.
Yeah.
That way the seasons keep going. So that way I'll freaking watch that show. I watch Star Wars Rebels. I really like it.
Yeah.
But that way you still care about Pirates of the Caribbean as a whole, whether he's in it or not, because you know that he still exists in your TV show form, so you're going to support the entire franchise. So you're going to go see the movie. So
again, we want to hear from you guys. What do you think about these quotes? Do you read them like we're reading them? Do you read them differently? Let us know in the comments below what you think. Make sure you continue to watch. This is a video that kind of came out of nowhere because we had this idea of what we were going to do for a video like this, but we kind of reimagined it. So like Tyler said earlier, check out this Friday where it's still coming. It's going to be a massive video. Tyler's Pirates 6, the entire thing explained. We're going to record that actually very soon. So, check out that. That comes out this Friday. And then we hit you with the Pirates of the Caribbean podcast. Keep sending us questions, comments, anything you want us to talk about. We will talk about that in the podcast. And then we hit Pirates 5 and we have all those videos. We'll talk more about that later. So, thank you guys for watching as always, and we will see you for Friday's video.